Rotary Youth Speaks. I think that's amazing.
My name is Vala Salah. I am your chairman today. I am from Mansfield Primary School in Plymouth. I came to this country from Kyrgyzstan 3 years ago, and I recently won the Best Junior Youth Speaks in your Rotary district. To my right is Molly Clemens, who will be the main speaker. Molly comes from Crayon Primary School near Camborne. Only a few minutes ago, I found out that your district governor-elect Stefan went to the same primary school many years ago. Molly was a speaker in one of the winning Youth Speak teams this year when she spoke about the important effect Paralympics had on sports at the Olympics. To my left is Eva Edruff Anderson from Humphrey Davies School in Penzance. Eva won the District Youth Speaks Intermediate Best Speaker. She will give a vote of thanks. We have been invited to talk to you this evening about polio and how you are this close to eradicating it from the world. In Youth Speak presentations, we would like to involve our audience. So, Rotarians, if you see any of us doing this, please could you also do this? Can you show us now? We want to be sure that you are really listening. Let's practice. Very good. I am a little surprised that we are asked to tell you about polio eradications. After all, it was through Rotary and Rotarians that the story started in the first place. As you know, for the last 30 years, Rotarians here and around the world are trying to make sure that children throughout the world are vaccinated so that they don't suffer from polio. All of you here today are responsible for raising money to help with this project. Indeed, some of you may have been able to help by going abroad and actually vaccinating children in other countries. Isn't polio a problem that only affects people in foreign countries? Why should we worry about it here today in England when the last cases of polio were reported years ago when our grandparents were young? I don't know anyone who has been recently affected by polio. Put your hands up if you know anyone that has been recently affected by polio. So, it looks as though in this country we don't need to worry about polio anymore. Or do we? Please listen carefully to Molly and then you'll understand why we still need to end polio now. One more practice.
Thank you, Vala, and good evening, everyone. My name is Molly, and I live near Camborne. I would like to talk to you this evening about polio and the importance of protecting children throughout the world against this illness. What exactly is polio, and why do we need to stop it spreading? It is a disease that can spread very easily and quickly. It is a disease that can cripple and kill. Although none of my friends have been affected by this illness, I know that when my grandparents were young, many children became ill and were crippled because they had polio. They had to wear heavy iron supports on their legs to help them walk again, and some even died because of this nasty infectious disease. It could not be prevented then because there was no vaccination in those days. And so the virus spread and affected thousands of children. But why is it that none of my friends have been affected by polio when it was such a dangerous disease in the past? The answer to that question is Rotary. The Polio Plus programme was started by Rotarians in 1985 to try to stop this disease from spreading. But in 1988, they could see that more needed to be done. Polio at that time was still affecting 350,000 people. That was one person a minute across 125 different countries. Polio needed to be eradicated from the whole world to stop it spreading. But how could Rotary manage to eradicate polio from the whole world? It was an enormous problem, just as Vala, Eva and I are working together to give you this presentation. other organisations such as the United Nations and the World Health Organisation when needed to join Rotary's team, and they have worked together since then to end polio now. Under the leadership of Rotary, this team has made a great deal of progress. For example, in Vala's country of Kurdistan, the last polio case was reported in 2000, and Ruxa, a little 3-year-old girl, was the last person in India to have contracted polio. This year, there have only been 18 cases of polio reported throughout the whole world. Rotary really are this close to eradicating polio. This is an amazing achievement, but there are still children who have not yet been immunised. It is difficult and dangerous for health workers to get to some remote areas like Afghanistan. Also, even when everyone has been immunised, vaccinations must continue for another 4 years after we have seen the last case of polio. This project will of course continue to cost an enormous amount of money and effort from the members of Rotary. So on behalf of Children of the World, on behalf of the 7 million children who have not contracted polio since 1988, and on behalf of future generations, thank you for all the work you have done in the past. And please don't give up until polio is completely eradicated. Do you remember the hand signals Vala showed you? Rotary is now this close to eradicating polio. Please close the gap and end polio now, okay?